Around 12 months ago, Corsair launched this, the Platform 6 desk, an absolutely massive behemoth of a desk that's rock solid. It had a few issues with some of the attachments, not being as good as I'd hoped, but on the most part, I liked it and I still use it to this day. You see it in my reviews all the time. Well, Corsair recently got in touch with us at Kit Guru to let us know about a new desk, the Corsair Platform 4, which is a smaller and more affordable version of this desk, and they sent me one out to have a look at. So as you can see on this side of the room where I usually have my kind of B-roll area set up, I've cleared that all away. We're going to set the Platform 4 up and set up a bit of a console / laptop work sort of setup on the opposite side of the room using the Platform 4. I'll run you through the build process and I'll let you know what I think of it. Let's dive in, let's get it unboxed and get it built. So unlike the Platform 6, this thing comes in a single cardboard box. I remember the Platform 6 came in about 3 or 4 boxes. Just like the original desk, it's extremely well packaged. There's a lot of very high quality foam protecting all of the various pieces. The legs weigh an absolute ton. That's one of the motorized legs, the top section of it. The feet also weigh an absolute ton. They're all solid metal. And there we have the desktop at the bottom of the box, finished in dark wood. Weirdly, I thought I was going crazy when I unboxed this. There are no instructions on how to put this desk together in the box, which I think there should be. There was with the Platform 6. I'm going to email Corsair now and ask them, and I'll update it in the comments. But luckily, Corsair do provide a full run through of how to put these desks together on their website. So I suppose not receiving paper is a kind of good thing because I can just get it up on my phone and browse and flick to which bit I need to. So it's not too much of a big deal. But if you didn't have access to internet or didn't have a phone, everyone's got phones, but if you didn't, then you kind of need instructions in the box, and I'm guessing they should have been there. So now I've found the instructions online. It clearly says step 1 is to attach the feet and the legs. And if I jump over to the box of screws and tools and stuff, you can clearly see there's a bag labelled step 1 with M8 screws, 15mm, 16 of them, and the instructions there clearly state the same thing. So that's good, it keeps it nice and simple. Easier thing with this one compared to the Platform 6 desk is it's much easier to work with. It's much smaller, so it's easier to move it around if you need to realign a screw or anything like that. Another nice thing is that Corsair provide this kind of Allen key wrench, I suppose you can call it. It's even got the Corsair logo on, which makes tightening up the screws so much easier than using a standard Allen key. Makes the job a lot more simple, which is little touches like that, which I suppose go into the price, but it is an expensive desk no matter which way you look at it. But little things like that really help. So that's one leg installed, and it already feels rock solid. That's the 4 bolts installed, and it's attached to the power in the middle for the sit stand when we've got it finished in a minute. So now we've got the desk flipped up the right way around, and we're not far off being done, to be fair. We've just got to install the cross rail, which the monitor arm connects to, and the in-desk cubby, which is here. And I had to install this on the other one. I'm pretty sure it should just clip into place on this one. There we go, that's done. Get that nice cover in place. That's that bit done. So the next step is to install these corner support pieces which support the cross rail or T-rail, whatever Corsair want to call it, but the support beam that supports the monitor arm that attaches on, which we'll get to that in a moment. So let's get this bit installed. So that's the cross beam installed. This is the piece that I've taken off of my Platform 6 desk recently, just because I wanted to have my monitors on the wall and it was getting in the way a little bit. Corsair also include one of their cable trays, which are still plastic, unfortunately, something that disappointed me on the first Platform desk. Nothing's changed in that regard, but I'm going to attach it there just to the side of the monitor so I can run the power cable through it. That shelf attaches to that rail with T-nuts, which are these small little kind of triangular shaped things which insert into the gap across the back of the rail So now we've got the monitor arm on and got the monitor attached to the monitor arm. It's a single monitor arm. I thought it was going to be a double like the Platform 6. So this tray that we've attached can be used to place like power bricks and stuff in there. And then the monitor arms contain cable management on the underside, which we can just tuck the cable in. So we've hopped into the Kitguru Time Machine and we're about a week out from when I first put the Platform 4 desk together, and I've come up with a list of 6 things that I like and 6 things that I don't like. Starting off with number 1 of the things that I like was the ease of putting it together. Compared to the Platform 6, there was a lot of stuff pre-installed, or there was a lot of steps that I didn't need to do compared to this one. Like the motor for the sit stand functionality, for example, was pre-installed on the bottom of the desk, or the power supply that you connect the controls and the legs to. I didn't have to screw that on, whereas I did on this one. And then other stuff like the cubby just clicking into place. And there was a lot of, it seems like Corsair have streamlined the build process a little bit since first releasing the Platform 6. So they've definitely learned from the release of their first desk, this one, and made things a bit simpler when it comes to assembly. And as well, as I mentioned earlier, this one's much smaller, as you can see. So this one is, apart from the weight, you might need someone to help you, but actually putting it together is easily doable on your own. Whereas the Platform 6, it took me a lot longer to assemble this desk compared to this one. And next up on the list of stuff that I like has got to be the build quality. And this goes for the Platform 6 as well, which I mentioned in my original review of that one. And it's no different on the Platform 4. The build quality is, I would call it exceptional. They're absolutely rock solid desks. This is solid hardwood. They're really sturdy. They don't wobble at all. You can feel that they're good quality, which they should be considering the price, which we'll talk about in a moment. Number 3 of the things that I like, I suppose, goes hand in hand with the build quality, but it's the actual desktop itself. It's, as I mentioned a second ago, solid wood, finished in this dark wood. You can get a black finish as well. Down in the bottom right-hand corner, you've got a slightly debossed Corsair logo, which is kind of stamped into the wood or pressed into the wood, whatever you want to say. But it just looks really classy. The finish is high quality. And one thing I have noticed, that between the Platform 6 and the Platform 4, the finish on the Platform 4's desktop is much smoother when compared to the finish on the Platform 6. You can feel the grain much more in the Platform 6 as opposed to the Platform 4, which feels kind of like a kitchen countertop, similar sort of feel. And another thing that I like is the motors on the Platform desks. They're both sit stand and both powered by dual motors, as you saw me install in the assembly section of the video. But they're reasonably quiet, but they sound good quality. There's no clunking. No, it doesn't sound like it's struggling at any point at all. And on the controls, you've got 2 different memory settings, so you can set up a sitting and a standing function and just press the button and it'll automatically adjust to the preset height that you've saved. And another thing I like about the Platform desks and their design is the modularity in how they work. As you can see on my Platform 6 desk, I've got one of the side extension panels installed, which just increases the width a bit. I find that really useful for placing a second PC on when I'm reviewing it. And that extension panel will work with the Platform 4 desk. And that attaches by using the T-nuts that we saw earlier, in the same way that you attach anything to any of the T-rails or the cross rails. You just pop those T-nuts in, tighten them in place, and then screw stuff to it. These side extension panels are really useful, and I'm glad to see that they work with the smaller desk as well. And the final thing that I want to highlight as something that I like about the Platform 6 desks is the desktop storage compartment, which contain USB-A and USB-C charging ports, which are connected to power through a connecting USB port on the underside of that desktop compartment. This is really convenient for stuff like charging your phone or charging a wireless mouse or a wireless keyboard if you need to. And it's just little touches of convenience that make using the desk a bit of a more pleasant experience. So let's move on to the things that I'm not so much of a fan of. We'll start off with cable management. And while Corsair have made an effort to cater to people having to manage cables with that cable tray that's underneath both of the desks, I do feel it could have been implemented a little bit better. As I mentioned in my review of the Platform 6, the cable tray is very open at the front. So the more cables you put in there, it just gets harder and harder to manage them, which I suppose goes without saying. But if that cable tray was completely solid at the front or enclosed at the front, it'd be much easier to hide away cables. And then I really think they should have implemented a built-in or integrated cable management that comes through the legs for the power. That would have helped a lot with the sit-stand functionality. And then the cable management across the cross rail, the T-rail that the monitor's attached to, that's kind of hasn't been really considered, I don't feel. You kind of have to go ham at it with a lot of Velcro cable straps, as I have done with the speaker cable going to the speakers that's on this desk. The plastic tray does help for routing monitor power cables and putting power bricks in there, as we saw earlier on, but I feel like some longer ones of those, wider trays, would have helped, or definitely something integrated onto the back of that rail and that you could move around, place the monitor arm where you want it, and then position cable management across the whole back of the T-rail would have helped a lot more, especially when you're going to start running DisplayPort, HDMI cables, you're going to have power cables, you might have a USB cable coming from your monitor for KVMs and USB pass-through and stuff like that. There's a lot more to think about than just power cables. And mentioning that plastic cable management tray that's included with that definitely should be metal, especially considering the price of the desk. This is something that I found a bit shocking on the Platform 6 in my original review of that, and it hasn't changed. Plastic is a bit of a cop-out by Corsair when they're going to charge this much money for a desk. Make it metal. It surely wouldn't be that much to make. To get, even if it's thin metal like the cable management tray underneath the desk, that's metal. It's just going to be stamping and folding some cheap metal and painting it black. That really wouldn't cost that much in the overall kind of process of producing a desk like this. So I'm a little disappointed to see plastic accessories used in a desk that costs £1,000. If you're looking for a new chair, then definitely go and check out boolies.co.uk. They offer a whole host of gaming and office chairs that come in a variety of different finishes and different colours. Another thing I'm not a big fan of is I really honestly thought when I unboxed it that it was going to come with a dual monitor arm, the same as the Platform 6 desk. But no, on the Platform 4 we've just got a single monitor arm, hence why I've got just a single 27-inch monitor on there. I mean, two 27-inch monitors side by side would fit. It would be a squeeze, but you could do it. So if you want another monitor installed on the Platform 4 and you purchase just the kind of base package, you're going to have to get another monitor arm from somewhere. And speaking of that monitor arm, the design's a little bit inconvenient, especially when you've got the extension installed. If you want your monitor in the middle, you're going to have the monitor arm offset to one side or the other. If you have it in the middle and then you push your monitor all the way back, the way that the monitor arm folds up, it protrudes out from the back of the desk, meaning you'll need to pull it out a little bit from the wall. So it could have been a little bit more low profile, but then I understand why they've made it quite chunky to handle heavier monitors. The lack of any included shelves also disappointed me a little bit. With the Platform 6, you get 3 included shelves, which are really easy to attach to the T-rail system using the T-nuts. On the Platform 4 though, you don't get any of that stuff included, and they do work with the Platform 4. I have got the shelves off my Platform 6 and attached them to the Platform 4, and they are finished in black, so it's kind of a mismatch to the finish of the desktop itself. They do match the T-rail and the monitor though, so they don't look too bad. But I feel like some of these should have been included. It's just a bit of MDF and a metal bracket. It should be in the box really, and they're really useful for kind of like lifting speakers off the desk and stuff like that. And the last thing I have to mention is of course the price. These desks aren't cheap at all. I've mentioned it a few times as we've gone throughout the video and said it was £1,000, which that's kind of an average. They start at £800, but that's if you don't want sit-stand functionality and you want the black laminate finish. It also comes in a white kind of light finish with pine style wood, and then you've got this dark stained wood and black finish that I've got here. If you go for this exact model that I've got next to me, it costs you £1,100. So this is definitely, it's going to be an investment. I've got no concerns about them lasting a lifetime, to be fair. The build quality is excellent. I've had this one a year and it's still going strong, but the price, £1,000 on a desk is a lot of money. And that's the end of the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a like down below if you did. Don't forget to subscribe to Kit Guru to keep up with the latest PC gaming news and reviews. And if you go down below the video, you'll find links to our merch store where you can get a hoodie like this one. Or if you go in the video's description, you'll find links to our Patreon page, our Discord server, and our website if you want to check any of that out. Let me know in the comments what you think of these desks. They're expensive, but they are really nice, but they're just a lot of money. Let me know your thoughts. Anyway, guys, I've been Matt. This has been my review of the Corsair Platform 4 desk compared to the Corsair Platform 6 desk. I'll speak to you in the next one. Look after yourselves. See you later.